Pennsylvania and Acrisure Stadium.
Today, we've got a Week 13 matchup for you here between the Baltimore Ravens and the Pittsburgh Steelers. Calendar has turned to December, and we're in the home stretch now as we're underway in Week 13.
And here comes a return from the middle of the end zone. And only able to get this to the 19, so probably should have opted for the touchback.
That is not a sign of things to come. A rude welcoming to this ball game. It's a loss of 4 on that first play, and it's second down.
Jackson. That ball caught. It's Mark Andrews, the tight end.
And he'll get this up to the 30-yard line. 16 yards on that one and a Raven first. So 1st and 10 now from the 30. Throwing is Jackson.
That's complete. It's Rashad Bateman.
And he'll be taken down, but not before they work it across midfield. 23 yards on the play. Operating out of Steeler territory now. Here's 1st and 10 at the 47.
They'll run for the first time with J.K. Dobbins.
And he's got room. And he takes this just a few yards shy of the red zone before going out. 2 chunk plays in a row. The last one was over 20 yards, and so is this one. They'll throw on first down with Jackson. And he can't get rid of it. He's taken down. The Clemson product, DJ Reader, got in for the sack. So 2nd and long, and got to be careful not to fall out of field goal range. Another try after the first down sack. Jackson. Oh, the pressure too great, and he goes down once more.
Grover Stewart getting in there for the sack. You know, Charles, for this defense, look, it's no secret. You're facing a team that is really, really struggling. They haven't won in what seems like forever, but sometimes a desperate team can be a dangerous team, right?
You're exactly right about that. But
Jackson hit, and he lost the football. And it's picked up by the Steelers.
Let's face it, everybody at the start of a game has a mental image of how they expect it to go. And I think that was going exactly as they scripted it offensively. Moving the ball well, seemingly in control. And that fumble, that's got to be a little bit deflating, don't you think?
Yeah, foiled the whole plan there. Turned the ball over. And he's brought down, but not before they get it across the 20-yard line. A gain of 11 to kick off the drive, and it's a quick first down. They'll run again with Harris.
And he'll get this just across the 25-yard line. The Steelers at 6-5 now on the year. They were winners their last time out, so they'll be looking to make it 2 in a row.
And so much about football, partner, comes down to mindset. Being in the right frame of mind, and the best way to get in that good frame of mind, winning. So they come in feeling good. They've got the home crowd behind them. That ain't going to be tough to beat in this one.
It'll be a gain of 17 and a Pittsburgh first. Now a first down carry for Harris. And he'll manage to pick up about 4. It's 2nd down. Following the pickup of 4, here's 2nd and 6. Here's Harris. And across midfield he goes into Raven territory.
Coming up here looking for 3 yards to pick up the first. On 3rd down, here's Harris.
12 yards that time, and a Pittsburgh first.
Brandon, after last week, we went over 200 yards. Looks like the hot tub, cold tub, whatever he did, it worked pretty well.
Much chatter about that performance. Rightfully so. AFC Offensive Player of the Week. It's a 6-yard gain on the ground, and that'll make it 2nd and 4.
Now Pickett will look to pass it.
And into the end zone. Touchdown, Pittsburgh. Calvin Ridley with touchdown number 7 on the year. And the Steelers take the early turnover and convert it into an opening touchdown. Extra point put through by Boswell. And that makes the score 7-0. Boswell now to kick it away after the touchdown. And this will not be brought out. It's a touchback. The Raven offense set at the line for this next drive. They had the fumble on the last drive, wound up leading to the opening touchdown. Now they'll try again here, 1st and 10. And he's going to be dropped following a pickup of 7 past the 30 to the 32. They go play action with Jackson.
Well, he tries to force it in, and it's intercepted. Picked up by Keon Crossen. And the Steelers are going to get possession of the football as time will run out on this first quarter of play. After one, 7-0 on EA Sports. So the ball down to the 16 here for 1st and 10. Now a give, running left is Harris. And he is met in his tracks behind the line of scrimmage. 2 yards the loss, 2nd and 12.
With his size, he's a tough man to bring down, but they do a nice job there stopping his progress and not allowing him to get back to the line of scrimmage.
Pickett's throw complete to Freiermuth. And they've got this down to about the 12-yard line.
They haven't made much of this great starting field position they had. Here's 3rd and 6. And he can't find anywhere to go with it, and he goes down.
Multiple players combined for their team's first sack of the game.
Boswell's kick is good, and that would extend their lead even further.
So the interception setting up a terrific field position, but 3 points, the end result.
Yeah, we can make this one pretty simple, partner. You always want to end drives with points, but that's one that you're going to look back on and probably say, we should have done better there.
The Raven offense set at the line for this next drive. And job 1 here, Charles, just keep possession of the football. 2 drives, 2 turnovers to this point.
You're exactly right, Doctor. Hippocratic oath. First, do no harm. And right now, they're harming themselves on offense.
I like that. No one is mistaking me for a doctor, though. But thank you, Dr. Davis. The last run good for 2. Here's 2nd and 8. Jackson from the shotgun. Had his hands on it, but dropped it. The rookie making a little bit of a rookie mistake. 3rd down. So the failure to connect on 2nd down, that leaves him staring up here at a 3rd and 8. They'll bring a receiver in motion left. On 3rd down, Jackson. And he's got his tight end. That's Andrews. And they're going to have this across midfield and inside the 45. A big one there on 3rd down. They hit for 30 yards. So the big play gets him across midfield now for 1st and 10.
Jackson with a handoff to Dobbins on the option.
And he's able to carve out about 6 there, down to the 37.
And there we saw one of the downsides of blitzing during a rundown, because sometimes you get out of your gaps. You don't fit the run quite as well because you're headed towards the ball carrier with abandon.
A second down pass play there, but it's incomplete.
Well, they certainly did a nice job there, picking him up out of the backfield and then running stride for stride with it. That's good coverage, and it led to an incompletion.
Here's Jackson to throw. And he'll be brought down, losing yardage back at the 40. So that'll go as a 4-yard loss on the play. And that'll bring up 4th down. So coming on now is the field goal unit. They're going to try for 3, and he'll need all the leg he's got here.
Oh, this is going to be fielded defensively. And remember, this is a live football. Pass midfield, look out.
He's at the 30. 10, 5,
and he will score. That is a touchdown, and no flags on the field as he puts up the missed field goal and takes it coast to coast.
Boswell good with the extra point, and that makes our score 17-0. Boswell now to kick it away after the touchdown.
This is going to be returned from the middle of the end zone. And ultimately cannot get this out to the 25-yard line as he's dropped at the 23.
The Raven offense set at the line for this next drive.
And we don't want to call this desperation time, especially in the second quarter, but you're down. Let me finish. Okay. You're down 3 scores already. You've done nothing offensively, nothing on the scoreboard. That's not a good combination.
I think you just called it desperation time. I think you did. But let's face it, you mentioned this to me in a break earlier in the game. The energy level hasn't been there right from the start. We've noticed that. They've got to find a way to get on their toes and start punching instead of retreating, to use a boxing analogy.
Now Jackson. And he'll be hit as he releases it, and that'll fall incomplete.
But he certainly didn't like what he saw all from the coverage on his primary reads, and he didn't even have any luck trying to get back to his safety valve. Give defense a credit. Coverage was in lockdown mode everywhere.
This is taken at about the 14. A big kick there. We'll call it 56 yards on the punt. The Pittsburgh offense at the line to start their next drive.
They currently sit 1 game over 500 thanks to their victory a week ago. But Charles, they've been really an up-and-down team all year. Do you think that they have enough to get into the playoffs?
Well, you did mention they've been up and down all year, so to me, it depends on what week you catch them. When they're at their best, I think they're definitely playoff worthy. But to me, they haven't been able to bring the intensity week in and week out, and that could be their Achilles heel.
And this is going to be a Steelers first down as he's got this past the 35 to about the 37.
I'm not sure how much more evidence they need, partner, than to understand that if they don't start to slow him down, it's going to be a long afternoon here at the stadium, because he is just shredding them at this point. And let's face it, coming into the game, they knew he would be the focal point of their attack. This is going to take an 11-man unit on the defensive side to start making plays.
They'll keep it on the ground. Harris again.
80 yards rushing for him so far as his terrific season continues here.
They've created a nice sustained drive off of plays like that. A nice strong run there that keeps them advancing the ball.
On second down, this is Harris. A 3-yard pickup on 2nd and 4. Now they'll need to convert here on 3rd and a little more than a yard.
Now Pickett.
He'll let it fly for Austin. And in for the Steelers touchdown.
Calvin Austin.
36 yards.
And the Steelers are able to widen their lead here in this first half.
Extra point put through by Boswell. And a rout is on here in this first half. Boswell now to kick it away after the touchdown. And he'll just take a seat, and the drive will begin at the 25-yard line. The Raven offense set at the line for this next drive. And with a 3-score deficit staring them in the face, they might have to press the issue here and try to get points out of this drive. Now a nice play defensively on first down as this is knocked away and incomplete.
Well, this defense is certainly organized and playing off of each other because the rush is providing pressure and the coverage is forcing incompletions and capitalizing on mistakes. When you get every level on defense hitting at once, you get first half scores just like this one.
Throwing again on 2nd and 10. Jackson slings it to Anders, and it's complete. The tight end has it. Now the Ravens going to use one of their timeouts as the clock will stop with 21 seconds to go here in the first half. It'll go as a gain of 25 on a play that started back at the 25. From midfield now, here's Jackson. And this will be caught by his big wide receiver. Now another timeout called for by the offense. So that means they're down to 1 remaining here as we head toward halftime. This offense finding its legs now. Here's another 1st and 10. The slot man in motion right. And Jackson throwing once more. He'll swing this out to Dobbins. And he's going to be taken down just shy of the 35. And now a timeout defensively after that first down play. So they're going to make this offense sweat out half number 1. Now with 5 seconds left, not really enough time to run another play and then stop it. So on comes the field goal unit. Tucker's kick is good, and they get a little bit closer here as the lead's down to 3 touchdowns. Maybe a moral victory of sorts. They're on the board here late in the first half, but this offense just hasn't looked that sharp.
Yeah, but at least they got the 3 points, right? At least have something to, quote-unquote, hang their hats on and maybe feel a little bit better about themselves as they head to the half.
Final play of the first half. Here's Pickett rolling to his right. He completes it to Ridley. And they've got it well across midfield down to the 40 before it's all said and done. So we reach halftime here in the Steel City with the Steelers on top. As we'll head down to Orlando, that's where we find our man Jonathan Coachman at our EA Sports Halftime Report. Coach, welcome back. Charles and I settled into the booth ready for quarter number 3. So time for the second half as the Steelers have the lead, and they will also be receiving the football here to start the third quarter. Now this will be returned from deep in the end zone. A lane opens here. He's past the 30. And they are not going to catch him. He's in. Touchdown, Steelers.
And as we've talked to special teams coaches, that theme of being aggressive continues to come through, doesn't it? When they moved the kickoff back to the 35, it was going to cut down on the number of opportunities. But if you've got a special guy, you give him the green light no matter where he fields it in the end zone. And in this case, it paid off handsomely.
He fielded it deep in the range of emotions. Maybe like, oh, no, don't. And then all of a sudden you see him break it, and you're like, yeah, way to go.
Yeah, sometimes you have to remind your head coach that he approved the green light for bringing it out from deep in the end zone. And that's exactly right.
Now a hit and a loose football. So a teammate picking him up there, that was nearly disaster.
And the way that you coach these things, you want to make sure you have eyes towards the return guy because you want to make sure that the catch is secured a lot.
And the Steeler pressure too much here. He's going down. T.J. Watt has now recorded 10 sacks on the season. And they need to work to at least get some of this yardage back after the sack. 2nd and 19. Throwing there, but this pass is going to wind up incomplete.
Well, they certainly aren't letting up today, partner, because they've forced big turnovers already, and it's been incredibly tough for them to get yards against, let alone put points up on the board.
An incomplete pass on that last play, and that means they'll need to come up with something here on third down. Now it's Jackson. And he'll get it up here this time to the 21. The decision to tuck and run gets him 3, but that's not enough. Now it's 4.
Well, there were a couple of extra defensive backs in the game, so he really had nowhere to go with the football despite his search for an open receiver. So he has to take off and run for it, but he comes up well short of the line to gain.
Fielded just inside the 20.
A 57-yard punt, 11 on the return.
The Steeler offense here about ready for their next drive.
And it's hard to imagine that the first half could have gone any better for them. So what's the approach here in the second half?
Just continue to play smart football because they got the other team down and they feel good about the position they're in. The obvious thing people would say is just keep attacking, but I think you also have to be smart about it. Avoid turnovers. That's about the only thing that can derail you at this point. Attack, but make sure you take care of the ball. This offensive game plan has just been sensational. I mean, when you think about all the different ways they've gotten their receivers open so far, it's really been impressive. Scheme, design, execution.
And he'll fight forward on the straight-ahead running for just a couple of yards. Second down. And they'll send the tight end in motion. Throwing on 2nd and 8. Pickett. And that is caught. It's Ridley. And he's going to be taken down with the first down at the Ravens' 25-yard line.
First and 10, here's Pickett.
And that is incomplete.
Then their back's up against the wall a little bit, and they come through by forcing an incompletion. Now they've got to continue to ratchet up the intensity a couple of more times and get off the field before giving up any more yardage.
To throw once more on 2nd and 10.
Pickett, that's complete to his tight end, Freiermuth. And they're going to get this down inside the 20. They'll need 5 on this play to move the sticks. Pickett right back to the air again.
Looking end zone, but it's incomplete. To give you an idea of how accurate he's been throwing the football, we're in the second half. That's just his second incompletion.
Well, if he's that locked in, that means everyone's locked in because to me it's like throwing a no-hitter in baseball. The pitcher may get the credit. A lot of people making plays behind him in the field.
I got to think at this point, third quarter, if you're able to hold on to the ball, get 3 at the end, that's all you're looking for.
I would agree with that because right now, this is a job well done by them. In fact, it's almost time for handshakes, a little dap on the sidelines, maybe even start to discuss post-game plans. And for the guys who haven't played yet, go ahead and get loose. Your time is now.
The Raven offense set at the line for this next drive.
Well, we haven't exactly been treated to a nail-biter in this one, CD, and if they cannot score here, rifles one, and that's going to be intercepted.
It's Devin Bush, the linebacker, who picks it.
And the Steelers are going to take possession of the football. Well, to be blunt, not a whole lot has gone right for this defense in this ball game, but that's something right there. Still in the third quarter. It would take something around miracle territory for a comeback, but maybe that's it.
And he's going to take it in for a Steeler touchdown.
Najee Harris with his 9th rushing touchdown on the year. And the Steelers are able to strike quickly to add on to their lead.
Boswell good with the extra point. And the lead grows even larger here in the third quarter. Boswell now to kick it away after the touchdown.
This will be brought out from the middle of the end zone. And he'll get it up past the 20 to about the 22.
Raven offense set at the line for this next drive.
Well, we're still in the third quarter, so there's some time to kind of clean this up and make it look more respectable now. A win, that's probably gone out the window, Charles, but I don't know. Do you look at this as a time to just improve and maybe start to look towards the future?
I think you have to find something to play for, something to grasp onto until the clock runs out. But, Brandon, we've been around this game a long time. This is an outlier. You don't get many blowouts like this no matter how the game looks on paper going in. This one has turned out to be everyone's.
Oh, for the third time, Jackson going to be intercepted. Picked up by Micah Fitzpatrick.
And the Steelers are going to take possession of the football. So that changes things. You get the interception, and then to boot, a good return tacked on.
And really it was down to him versus the quarterback on the return, and that's one you would think the defender would win. But a nice job there of seeing the play all the way to the end and making the tackle.
And he's in. Touchdown, Steelers.
Najee Harris.
Touchdown number 2 in the game, and now 11 on the year.
And the Steelers get another third-quarter touchdown to add on to that lead.
Extra point put through by Boswell. And the lead grows even larger here in the third quarter.
And here comes a return from a few steps into the end zone.
The Raven offense set at the line for this next drive.
It's a game that they would rather probably forget about, at least to this point, Charles. And one reason is turnovers. A turnover on the last drive. They had the issue in the first half as well, and that's really, unfortunately for them, helped to put this game out of reach.
And you know they won't admit it to themselves, but we know that winning the game is pretty much out of the picture now. So their bottom line is, how do they play?
And his pass is intercepted for the 4th time today. Picked off by Akello Witherspoon.
And the Steelers are going to take possession of the football.
If you combine last week and this week, he's got a hat trick going because he had 2 interceptions a week ago.
He's seeing the ball so well and understanding what receivers are, positioning. I mean, just watching him work with such great technique and paying it off by actually catching the ball when he has a chance, he's helping his team in a huge way.
Touchdown! Calvin Ridley with his 2nd touchdown of the afternoon.
And the Steelers take the interception on defense and convert it into 6 points.
Boswell good with the extra point, and the lead grows even larger here in the third quarter. Boswell now to kick it away after the touchdown.
Well, here comes a return from the middle of the end zone. And he's up past the 20 to the 22-yard line.
The Raven offense set at the line for this next drive.
Well, this has been a tough one for them, Charles. They've struggled really on both sides of the football. And one thing that's really plagued them, the turnovers. They've had issues keeping the football in their possession.
In every game that's ever been played, all coaches talk about taking care of the football and limiting turnovers. And in this one, after we saw that first turnover, we worried that things would snowball, and it certainly did, especially on the scoreboard.
Now a throw here to his running back. And he'll be out of bounds after getting this one across the 40.
And, Charles, of interest here, that last throw is going to put him over 20,000 yards passing for his career. And that's not a bad number.
You're exactly right about that. And even though it's nowhere near the top of the leaderboard, because when you think about it, Brady and Breeze, they've done that 4 times over. But when you hit 20,000, let's face it, only a little over 100 guys have ever done that in the NFL. It's worthy of some applause.
Now, meanwhile, a pass that should have been intercepted, but it winds up falling incomplete. So the incomplete pass on the last play, and that leads us to a 3rd and 3.
Dobbins going to take the handoff on the option.
And he's going to be a yard short. A 2-yard pickup leads to 4th and 1. They're going for it with Dobbins. A big roll of the dice on 4th and 1, but it pays off. They convert.
So this offense able to convert on 4th, and now a fresh set of downs here, 1st and 10.
And nothing doing. He's immediately taken down at the line of scrimmage. No gain on the play. It'll be 2nd down. We have played 3 quarters. We'll return with more after this. This is the NFL, and it's on EA Sports. So after the run for no gain, here's 2nd and 10. And now Jackson will look to throw it. Oh, the ball comes out on the hit, but they'll say it's incomplete.
They lead big, and a major part of that has been how they've taken their play to a whole new level this second half. No points allowed since the break, and you can add another incompletion to the total number that they forced in this runaway contest.
And my goodness, another interception. Picked up by Minka Fitzpatrick.
And the Steelers are in great shape here as they take over at their 46-yard line. Another great play defensively. They've been sharp on both sides of the ball, Charles, but that interception means that this defense very well keep them down to single digits on the scoreboard in this game.
And that's certainly something to smile about, isn't it, partner, if you're on defense, because you're going.
And that is going to be pulled in one-handed. Wow. A big play that time for Pittsburgh. 42 yards. So how about this for field position after the big play? Inside the 15 now as they come up on 1st and 10.
And a nice job to break free of one tackle, but it slowed his momentum somewhat, and he's taken down right after.
On 2nd and 9, Pickett. He'll be hit and taken down at the 21.
Pickett and the Steelers in need of a big play here. 3rd and long after the sack.
He'll drop to throw. And this one is incomplete.
Well, that play was certainly a little bit different because on the previous play, he was sacked. This time, protection a lot better. Had time to survey the field and still couldn't find an open receiver.
Boswell's kick is good. And that will extend their lead even further.
Well, ultimately, not really sure that they're going to need those 3 points, but they'll take the 3 and they pad that lead.
Yeah, this one's already wrapped up, but you and I both know if you're an offensive coordinator, you never let up on the gas unless the head coach tells you to do so. And maybe you've actually clicked him off in your headset so you can keep calling.
Look at this, middle of the field, a breakaway. The 30, 10, 5, and all the way in for a Ravens touchdown.
That was a special return, and it happened because he's a special returner. He has to have that approval from his special teams coach, his head coach, to bring it out of the end zone.
Well, let's be honest. A lot of times when they bring it out of the end zone like he did there, they don't have approval. I mean, I think a lot of times they do, but correct me if I'm wrong. Sometimes it's just a guy getting a feel, right?
You're exactly right. What's the old adage? Sometimes you just have to know when to break the rules. And if you do, you're taking on some responsibility. But he was happy to do so there.
The Pittsburgh offense at the line to start their next drive. And, Charles, we are in the midst of a very one-sided affair. I think this is where you and I have to fill a little bit. You want to regale us with old stories of your childhood in New Paltz, New York?
I don't think anyone wants to hear that, but this is a perfect time for us to start listing MVP candidates, right? The best teams we've seen so far this year, the best games that we've called thus far, how we anticipate the season unfolding. We can go in so many different directions because the game is certainly not taking us there.
Oh, I hear the remote's clicking off right now.
On 1st and 10, it's Pickett. And this one incomplete. Threw it down at the feet of his receiver. But their passing attack, even though that one was incomplete, has been really sharp in this one. It's resulted in a lot of touchdowns. And it looks like they're not going to stop throwing the football until the very end of this one.
Well, that will certainly make everyone involved on offense pretty happy because that gives them all a chance to pad their stats a bit. But as far as the actual need, you and I both know they can just run this clock out because this one, it was over a long time ago.
To the air on first down with Pickett. And he will find Ridley on the left side. And in for the Steelers touchdown. Well, he has been fun to watch throwing the football this one. It's certainly not fun for that defense, though, Charles. Now up to 4 touchdown passes in this ball game. Yeah, we're supposed to be neutral, but I'm feeling their pain right now because he has absolutely carved up this secondary. A clinic on how to attack a defense and take them out of the game.
Boswell now to kick it away after the touchdown.
Well, this is going to be returned from the middle of the end zone. And in hindsight, probably should have taken a knee as he only gets this out to the 16-yard line.
The Raven offense set at the line for this next drive.
It's now appearing that this losing streak is going to continue. You know, the coaching staff was confident.
And now here's another interception.
Picked off by Keon Crossen.
Yet another mistake after the interception there. And gosh, you look up at the scoreboard, they just got to be thinking this one cannot get over fast enough.
It certainly can't. And also what happens when you get this big of a deficit, you're supposed to make all the right throws, right? You're supposed to try and obviously get the ball to your own guys. But being down this big, you also take even more chances. And in this situation, that hasn't paid off for them at all.
On the other sideline, jubilation and laughter.
This will be brought out from the middle of the end zone. And in hindsight, probably should have taken a knee as he only gets this out to the 16-yard line.
Jackson and the Ravens come up now 1st and 10 at their own 16. They go back to the air here after the INT on the last drive. And he's got his man in stride, complete. And he's going to get this one across the 30-yard line. First play of the drive going for 14 and a first down.
Jackson.
Now a loose football. The ball comes out.
Second time in this game, Charles, the ball is squirted out from his hands. Luckily, his teammate was there to pounce on it.
You're right. Got the lucky bounce, able to retain possession. You know, we often talk about the combine and why do we measure quarterbacks' hands. Is that really a big deal? It's for situations like this. Do you have the hands big enough and strong enough to hold on to the football while being jostled?
It's a big play there for Baltimore. 55 yards.
Offense for them has been at a premium. You wonder where plays like that have been all game long.
They're thinking the exact same thing themselves, but they're also looking forward now because now these plays are really for next week, trying to get some momentum going.
Edwards, touchdown, Baltimore. Well, that was a quick drive. The passing game set it up, and then the running game finishes it off.
And how about how few plays it was to get it done, but they threw it downfield and then pounded it into the end zone. And as a former defender, I can tell you, it hurts just a little bit more when they run it into the end zone instead of throwing it.
Oh, the Ravens say they have it. They do have it.
Great job by the kick team there to get the football, but also don't forget about the man that started it, the lonesome kicker himself.
I love that you brought him into it because he doesn't get nearly the attention he deserves. Oftentimes it's only when it's negative. In this case, he created a positive play for his team.
Now here's a pass on first down that's knocked away and incomplete. So after the incompletion on first, now 2nd and 10.
We changed it.
Jackson now. Looking deep downfield. He's got a man complete.
And he's going to be taken down right at the 10-yard line.
It's a big play there for Baltimore. 44 yards. So it's Raven football here as we welcome you back. They've got a 1st and 10 as they search for a late score. Throwing on first down, it's Jackson. Toward the end zone, but that's going to wind up incomplete.
That incompletion is not a surprise with the way that this one has gone, and the frustration, the body language is evident everywhere. This team, they've really been put through the ringer in this one.
2nd and 10, here's Jackson again. And he's going to be dropped back at the 15-yard line. It's 3rd and long for Jackson and the Ravens. Back to throw here. Under pressure again, and down he goes again. A nightmare on 3rd and goal. He's sacked, and multiple players broke through the line to get him.
We all know he's one of the better quarterbacks in the league, but definitely not today. His team trailed by multiple touchdowns, and a late sack, just a parting gift from the defense for him to take back to the locker room with him.
Well, in the grand scheme of things, those 3 points likely not going to matter much, but I guess they get a little closer, a little more respectability.
Yeah, you're exactly right. They've been outplayed all game long, but like my mom used to tell me all the time before I went out, dress up a little bit, son. Make yourself respectable. And that's what they're doing here. They're just dressing up the final score.
Well, 4th quarter, they felt like they needed the football back. Unfortunately, they couldn't get it.
And I know we brought analytics into the game, and someone has said here that the data says that when a team's expecting an onside kick, 80% of the time, the team expecting it, they do actually recover the ball, which is what we saw here. I just wonder if that number is much more of an anecdotal type of a number. Kind of like when the coaches tell us, well, when you score on special teams, 93% of the time you win the game. I'm still waiting to see that number as empirical.
First down, and they go back to Harris. And he'll be taken down here, and that is how this one is going to come to an end. They put up their goal at the beginning of the season, and that was to win 7 games, and now they've accomplished that mission.
And congratulations to them for achieving their goal. They have to finish the season strong, but you got to think that going forward for next year, they're going to jump that number up a little bit higher.